What if I told you this season's NBA Rookie of the Year almost went professional in football, not basketball? Well, the talented multisport athlete Paolo Banchero sure made the Orlando Magic happy when he chose basketball by leading the team in points and rebounds in his first NBA season. Let's take a look back at Paolo Banchero's journey from being a standout two-sport athlete in football and basketball at a young age to becoming the first pick in the 2022 NBA Draft. And we'll get a chance to see just how bright Paolo's future is going to be. You'll definitely want to stick around until the end to see exactly how Paolo Banchero came to be one of the best basketball players coming out of high school and college. Also, fun fact about Paolo Banchero, he is known to excessively sweat during his games, to the point that he needs special hydration from an IV. Some think it's a medical condition, and others say it's genetics. But try and guess on average how many pounds he loses a game solely from sweating. Stay tuned and we'll give you that answer at the end of this video. Since Paolo Banchero was drafted into the league, he immediately lived up to all the expectations surrounding him. But how exactly does a kid who almost went to the NFL become the Orlando Magic's best player as a rookie? Paolo Napoleon James Banchero was born on November 12, 2002 in Seattle, Washington. Growing up, many considered him one of the best youth quarterbacks in the city, which didn't surprise many since his father Mario played D1 football as a tight end at the University of Washington. However, Paolo had also been extremely talented at basketball since he was a kid, which led him to evolving into an elite two-sport athlete going into middle school. This was also not a shock to many since his mother Rhonda played basketball at the University of Washington, where she met Paolo's father during their time in college. When his mother Rhonda left the University of Washington to enter the WNBA draft, she was the all-time leading scorer for the school at the time. She went on to be drafted in the third round of the 2000 WNBA draft to the Seattle Monarchs and later played professionally overseas after her WNBA career. By the time Paolo was in the 8th grade, he was ranked in the top 50 in his class nationally for basketball and football. By the time Paolo was going into his freshman year, there was a lot of hype surrounding what sport the now 6'5" athlete would choose to pursue towards the end of his high school career. He attended O'Day High School in Seattle, famous especially for its athletic programs. During his first year of high school, Paolo was the backup quarterback for the state championship team that year. He showed flashes of potentially being one of the top high school quarterbacks by the time he was a senior. His coach, who had experience coaching several NFL players, Confi, said Paolo was an NFL talent from when he first came to O'Day. He raved about his throwing mechanics and the ability to throw the deep ball. Sadly for his high school football coach, he never played football again after his freshman year, as he solely wanted to focus on basketball. During his freshman season on the basketball team, he averaged 14.1 points and 10.2 rebounds a game. In his next season, he would lead his high school team to the Class 3A state championship game where they went on to win the title. He averaged 18.2 points, followed by 10.3 rebounds and 4.3 assists. He was named Most Valuable Player at the state game as a sophomore and further improved his game that following summer. By the time he was a junior, he began attracting national attention, averaging 22.6 points and 11 rebounds, earning Washington Gator Player of the Year and Max Prep's National Junior of the Year. Banchero was also named to the McDonald's All-American team and went on to compete in the dunk contest as well. Jordan Brand Classics also invited him, and he became one of the top recruits in the nation by the end of his junior year. Finishing as the state runner-up after falling short in the title game that year, Paolo was eager to return to school his senior year and win another state title. Unfortunately, the pandemic cut his last season short and he decided to continue playing in college the next year. Even with COVID, Paolo was one of the top 3 prospects going into college and received offers from virtually every top basketball program in the country, including Kentucky and Duke. Since both of his parents were University of Washington athletes and alumni, recruiters expected Banchero to follow in the same footsteps and sign with the Huskies. However, despite what people predicted, Banchero signed to play with the Duke Blue Devils on August 20th, 2020. At 6'10", his ability to move and play like a guard with his size and frame made him unstoppable at the collegiate level. In his college debut against Kentucky, Banchero lived up to the hype and scored 22 points, leading the Blue Devils past the Wildcats 79-71. He went on to have a very impressive freshman season, averaging 17.2 points and 7.8 rebounds, as well as 3.2 assists per game. He was named first-team All-ACC and ACC Rookie of the Year. During the NCAA tournament, Banchero continued to show why he is NBA ready, leading his team all the way to the Final Four in March Madness, eventually losing to North Carolina. He ended up being on the last team ever coached by Coach K, as the Duke legend announced his retirement that season. After the tournament, he decided to forego the rest of his college eligibility and declare for the 2022 NBA Draft. After going one and done in college, Banchero was selected first overall by the Orlando Magic. After having a rough past couple of seasons, Orlando was excited to become a contender with the addition of one of the nation's top rising stars. Paolo hit the ground running, scoring 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in his NBA debut versus the Detroit Pistons. Already making NBA history in his first 5 games, he became only the 7th player in NBA history to start his career scoring at least 20 points in his first 5 career games. He continued to dominate throughout the season, starting and playing in all 72 games of the season. No one could even tell he was a rookie the way he was playing against NBA All-Stars, and finished the season averaging 20 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game, leading the whole team in points and rebounds. During the NBA awards, he won the 2022 Rookie of the Year award at just 19 years old, almost unanimously claiming 98 of the 100 first-place votes. He led all NBA rookies in points and minutes played and finished 3rd in assists and 5th in rebounding. He also scored at least 30 points 6 times this season, the most of any rookie in the last 50 seasons. Paolo is just the 6th rookie to average at least 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. Do you have any idea who the last rookie to accomplish this feat was? You guessed it, no other than LeBron James back in 2003. Banchero is just the 3rd Magic player to win the Rookie of the Year award after Shaq back in 1992 and Mike Miller in the 2000-2001 season. The future sure looks bright for Paolo Banchero, with no signs of stopping anytime soon. He has constantly dominated at every level and can easily be a top 5 player in the league in coming years. His ability to defend against multiple positions and score on all levels makes him a threat for any opposing team. With this type of play, it's almost guaranteed that he will sign a max extension contract in the near future. As for now, most of his focus is on making the playoffs. After having the 2nd worst record in the NBA, the Magic need to do a lot of rebuilding in order to be in playoff contention. If the Magic are able to get some help for Banchero and he continues to play at his elite level, they will be back in the playoff race in no time at all, and could even have a shot at a possible title with the help of their future All-Star. Now, going back to our earlier question, how many pounds do you think Paolo Banchero sweats off each game? The answer is 7. I know, right? In order to combat dehydration and cramps while he's playing, he often takes sweat tests during the game and rehydrates with a specialized oxygenated fluid to make sure he can continue to compete at an elite level. Looking back at Paolo Banchero's journey, it seems as if he was always destined to play sports at the highest level, no matter what sport it was. Banchero's parents and coaches knew he would be a professional athlete from a young age, but it wasn't just his genetics that got him to where he is now. His dedication and passion for the game has fueled him to become one of the best players at his position. It's no surprise that Paolo is already dominating the NBA straight out of college. The real question is, how far can he go? Can he make the playoffs, win a championship, or even win the NBA's Most Valuable Player award? Only time will tell what the future All-Star can achieve. But if there's one thing he's proved over the years, he never backs down in the spotlight.